morning. It's day 32 and I'm just showing you a little bit of the trail. We're back on trail after spending a couple fun days with my wife. There's Attitude. The trail this morning has been wonderful. I mean, it's just been like you see right there all morning. It's great. A lot of pine needles on it too, so nice and soft on our feet. But we're back on the trail, and today we will pass, later in the day, pass our 300-mile mark. So we're kind of excited about that. We're headed toward the top of a ridge line here. And this ridgeline trail has an alternate. If the weather's bad or there's thunder or threat of lightning, you can take the alternate trail. We chose to take the real one because the sky doesn't look too bad, although we hear a little bit of thunder. So I'll tell you, if we hear much more thunder, we're going to start hiking real fast. But we think we're on this trail for about a mile, headed toward, it calls it the exposed trail, so somehow we'll be exposed at the top. Down everywhere, we're on the ridge. This has been a crazy day. We think this morning, the first roughly 4 miles may have been the nicest, softest, gentlest trail of everything we've done so far. We've done 300 miles now. It was just really, really nice. Then we had lunch at a shelter, and then we came up over this ridge, and we showed you how it separates into the bad storm trail and the trail at the top of the ridge. And we went a mile and a quarter, right? And mile and a half, and we're not sure how long it took us, but that has been clearly the slowest mile of our 300 miles.
Rocks the whole way.
It was just, I mean, it was climbing, scrambling. I mean, set aside the trekking poles. I mean, it was something we'd have expected maybe in New England, but we just didn't know that was here. We're kind of back to normal right now, but that was a very, very long 1.4 miles. So bizarre day. Down at our 300-mile marker. I mean,
they made us work for it.
They made us work really hard for it. Yeah, but we're excited. We love our little milestones, and 300 feels great. Yeah, it does. Now we're looking forward to 400. Let's go get her done. This is a location where a couple Union soldiers were in the area visiting some family during the Confederacy, and they were killed. So they were buried here, and the families maintained it through the years. Walking through a very common rhododendron tunnel here, and it's always much darker than the video looks because the camera lightens it up. But I'll tell you, there would be no Appalachian Trail without the rhododendrons and the mountain laurels, but you get in these tunnels and they're just always really cool, and they're so common. River crossing. So we get these kinds of bridges a lot. We'll take a log and cut it in half, and then they cross it with chainsaw blade, I suppose, to make sure it doesn't get slippery. It still does, but anyway, that helps a little bit. Hey, buddy. How are you? Nice cold water on a hot day, and you got it. So we're taking a minute to refresh our water here. You see our little tripod. You can squeeze that and make it go faster, but we're happy to just take a little break. It's a really pretty setting here. Somewhere around the corner, there's the water. You can't quite see the creek down there, but it's a great source. And of course I slipped on a stone getting out of the stream, which is easy to do. I should have been more careful. I seem to be fairly unharmed. I'll know tomorrow. We're going up here. Notice on the two sides of the trails all those trekking pole marks. I think you can see them. Both sides. That means we're not the first here today. It's just too pretty here to not try to capture some of this on camera. All right, we arrived in camp about 4 p.m. and Attitude is lying on the ground. She's studying the sky and noticing that it looks very different when you look up. And we're just delighted to be relaxing. And there's our tent. Give it a minute to kind of dry out a little bit. It wasn't too wet from last night. There's Attitude over there studying the sky. And yeah, we just got our replenished drink. Puts a lot of sugar back into our bodies. In a little while we'll have dinner. And I can't speak for Attitude, but I'm ready to go to bed early. And tomorrow we think we have a little easier day. It was a beautiful day. I have to say the hike today was just really beautiful. So green and lush. We did roughly somewhere around 16 miles. Rained all night with varying intensity. During the night, a small branch fell on a corner of our tent. Glad it didn't fall in the center, but it tore a 5-inch hole in our fly and a 2-inch hole in the tent itself. So I need to repair that. Thunder and lightning, not terrible thunder and lightning, but a pretty stormy night. The mud continues. It's a good hiking day, though. It's cool. The trail has been difficult all day long. It's all mud. But it's not really actively raining while we're walking, so at least we're not walking up or down a river. Really green, as always. Pretty out there. We're mostly just looking down, slushing through the mud. We are standing on top of Big Bald. It's another one of these 360 view things. And yeah, it's been overcast and foggy and cloudy all day, but it just opened up for Attitude and I. And we're looking roughly southward, a number of those mountains we've walked across. And I'm going to kind of just do a 360 here to kind of show you what it's like. It's very windy. I don't know if I assume you're hearing the wind. So hopefully you can hear my voice. There's Attitude. She's taking it all in. beautiful, very windy. We think if it wasn't so windy and it's a little cool also, this would be a great place to stay the night. Camp here and view the stars. Been a muddy day. We'll take a look down here. See, she's wearing shorts. That's the day. A blue blaze instead of the typical AT white blaze usually means any trail off to the side of the white blaze trail. Oftentimes it'll be for water. It could be for other things too. It could be for the shelter. Anyway, it's a short trail typically connected to the AT. So here we just arrived in camp and I'm going looking for water. And I saw a sign that said water, and I'm following the blue blazes to get there. And hopefully it's very close. There she is. Beautiful. River crossing. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the trekking poles and balance. So a lot of the hiking on the trail is what I call siding or edging. You're going along the side of a mountain. And the fall, like in this case on the right hand side, can be pretty steep. Something would eventually catch you, but that may not be pleasant. And sometimes it would be quite a fall. So you're walking along, hard for me to show. Let's see. You got your trekking poles, and you're always using them both sides to keep your balance, or to check your balance when you start to fall or something. But in this case, oftentimes you'll put your trekking pole down here and it just keeps going, right? Because you're over the edge. And it can be really scary every once in a while. Like you expect to get a support from the right hand side and you poke down and nothing's there and you panic. And so it's hard to show, but that's actually a pretty steep decline. So I'm just saying, you know, the trekking poles are great for everything they do. But when you're on the edge, you certainly have to make sure the pole hits the ground or it's not going to help you at all. So we're still on the edge here, but you can watch Attitude's right trekking pole. She's just barely on the edge there. And if it hits a few inches further to the right, there's nothing there. It's really hard to tell, but that's a sharp decline. And so you just have to be super careful when you're siding, depending on the trail itself. But you know, keep those trekking poles in dirt where they can support you. We are sitting here at Uncle Johnny's hostel, taking care of a few things, powering up some of our devices, and even working on this video. And there's some other hikers here we know. And we paid them $5 to pick up a package that my wife sent. It's a resupply package of food for 4 days, so we got that all loaded. And we're using their Wi-Fi and hanging out. It's a great little temporary rest here. And in a few minutes we'll get back on the trail and find a campsite about something over a mile away for tonight. So that's what we're up to. Windy day, but